What's going on, guys? It's Russell again. In this video, I'm going to go through the Oxford Club's Viper Alert by Matt Carr to show you whether it's worth the $4,000 a year or if it's a scam. So, I recently became a Chairman Circle member, so I've got access to all of the Oxford Club services. So, we should definitely have a look at them all at some point. I've done some videos already on them, but today I want to show you how Matt Carr recently made 119% on a Viper Alert. I want to go through the basically the track record that he has with this service and kind of just show you what you get for your money. So if you're ready to get started, let's go. So this is Matt Carr on here. This guy, he's the chief trends expert of the Oxford Club. He runs multiple different services, which I'll be covering in future videos. Like I said, the Viper Alerts is $4,000 a year, which is no small amount to pay for a stock alert service. But as you'll see, the track record's actually not too bad at all. So let's get into the review. I wrote this review. I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys to go and check it out for more information. Matt Carr has been trading for about 20 years, and he's one of the best traders I've seen. He developed a system called the Viper Score, which has basically won him awards for being a really, really good trader. It's a very simple idea. It's based on growth and trends, and we'll go into that a little bit more further down here. So he uses this Viper Score. Basically, it's a score between 0 and 10. Sorry, 100. So if it's 100, then you want to buy it. If it's 0, just stay away. You don't want anything to do with it. So he has a scanner that searches these stocks pretty much constantly to see if he can find ones that have a high V score. So here are some of his criteria for his V score. So you can see where the name Viper comes from, right? Value, income, profit, earnings, and revenue growth. So there's nothing super novel here. He's just putting it together in a certain way, and he's really good at actually finding stocks that perform with this formula. So he looks at, are the shares priced below the 52-week highs? Is it rising at least 25% a year? Are future profits expected to be 25% higher? EPS for current year over 25%, and has it grown 25% or more over a year? So these are not short-term trades. Like, these can go on for a year, and I'll show you a few examples in a minute. He buys stocks and options. Um, I haven't traded any of the alerts yet. I'm pretty new to the service, so I've been kind of backtesting it and looking at, does it work for me? Is it something I'd be interested in doing? So let me show you a couple of examples. So we'll start with like a really recent example. I think the other day I got a sell alert for this one. So if we look here, so here is action to take. So this actually came in on the 5th. It's the 9th at the moment. So basically it's saying sell your shares of Catalent, CTLT at market. We'll walk away with 119% on our shares. So I went and looked up the chart for CTLT. This was a year ago before I joined. So you can see they bought the stock down here and just let it ride up. It's pulled back a bit, so it looks like they're locking in profit now. So that's a year-long hold. So these are not like day trades or even really short-term swings. They're more, longer term. So if you're looking for a service that holds these things for, a little bit longer, maybe you're busy back at work or whatever, that's the kind of return that Matt Carr gets on his Viper alerts. So let's go back into the dashboard. This is the sort of due diligence that you get when he sends out an alert. So you get an email and you get basically all this information on the web page, like full due diligence on this. It's not just some shallow like breaking resistance or whatever. It's like a full like due diligence, fundamental research of these companies. So you get a ton of information and then like a proper action thing. So buy shares of Starbulk, blah blah blah, use a 20% trail and stop. So it's a very chilled out service if you like fundamental trades or buy and holds. So let's look a little bit more at the dashboard here. So Viper alerts. This website always takes a while to load. It's really annoying, but it gets there eventually. Here we go. So this is what you get in the Viper alert. It's the dashboard. So if we look at the portfolio, that's always a good indicator. Let's have a look. I have not looked at this yet, so it could be horrendous. Let's just see how he is doing at the moment. So let me just zoom in a little bit. Probably about there. Okay, hopefully that's clear enough to see. So this portfolio gives the buy date, the buy price, current price, gain, loss, and stop price. You can look through. Some of these are from 2020. A lot of them are this year though, so recent. Obviously, you'll have sold most of the ones from 2020, like that one we just looked at, the CTLT one. So let's have a look at what he's currently holding in his stock portfolio. Zoom in a little bit clearer. You can see here. So let's just look down the percentage gains and losses. So 13% minus, minus 5%, minus 3%. I mean, look at this. It's a pretty strong portfolio, right? I mean, this is clearly overall in the green. Many of these have just been bought. So let's look at this 40%. This one was bought in February. It's currently May. So a few months and he's got 40%. There's another 40% from the end of last year, 50% from October last year. So you can see this is a pretty impressive portfolio. And usually with these types of trades or buys, it's not that hard. It's not like you have to chase it or anything. Often it'll dip. They're quite, up and down. Stocks don't just go straight up. This is not crackhead day trading here. It's uh, it's not one of those things you can't replicate, is what I'm trying to say. So pretty impressive portfolio. He also buys options, so currently has some options on CAMT and Kohu. So he's got the stock on those. He's also got the options. Those are down a lot. So it looks like with a lot of these Oxford Club services, the actual stocks do a lot better. So hopefully he's not in too big in these ones, right? So that he's not taking a beating on his portfolio. But I think overall that's a pretty impressive current holdings. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that. So for $4,000, you can get that kind of performance. That's recent performance. Let's look at what else you get in the dashboard here. So I guess what to expect from the Viper alert. Let's have a look and see. Hopefully this isn't just a video and it's actually a bunch of text that we can just kind of go through really quick. All right, so like I said, he uses his Viper system. He calls it proprietary. It doesn't seem too proprietary to me because most people that do fundamental research know how to look up these things and apply them to their stock picks. So, blah, 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 exit strategies. So he has 20% loss. So, finally, for big gains to brag about. Um, yeah, so not really much in there that's helpful at all that I haven't already said. Let's have a look. So he has a couple of generic kind of video series that you could check out. You get text alerts for the Viper stuff, and it looks like it's fairly regular. These are the last few alerts. So this was a sell alert. Let's just look at these since they're random snapshots of what he's been doing. So take profits on Pinterest was about 10 days ago. So let's have a look and see what he did with Pinterest. So he gives this, blah, 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 all this like revenue growth and stuff. So sell your shares of Pinterest at market. So our shares took a thrashing and our stop was hit, but we'll walk away with a double digit gain anyway. So seems like he definitely overstays his welcome a little bit so far on the two that we've looked at. Doesn't quite time his exit. He waits for it to start coming back down, it seems like. But then it's so hard to predict the top, right? So not too surprising. He has a trailing stop loss. Pretty standard. Let's see what he says about a booming play on beverages, cars, and planes. I'm not sure if this is an alert or not, but it might just be some due diligence that these guys come out with periodically. So 10 days ago, this will happen with Kohu shares. So Kohu's 50% higher. New recommendation. So yeah, he does have a new recommendation. Kalu, Kalu. So, and it gives all his different revenue, beating earnings stuff, all this interesting good stuff. Yeah, so that's Kohu. Let's have a quick look at his other recent recommendation. I probably shouldn't be doing this. I realize I'm giving away some of the Oxford Club stuff. But okay, so we just looked at that already. So yeah, so that's the Viper alert. It looks like you hold for months or even a year, and then you hopefully cash in. Let's go through the last of my review that I did. So I did this last year. Here's an example ARCE straight up after the alert. New recommendation. So we've gone through all the sort of due diligence that they give. Let's have a look. Current date is June 2nd. So a lot of these do move small amounts or 10% or so quite quickly. So that's kind of cool. Just checking all this stuff out. This is the portfolio last year. You can see a whole different amount, different stocks here. Again, it was a green portfolio. So I think if you're looking for this type of system, I think it's worth checking out. I'm going to start buying a couple of these things. So yeah, so it's worth pointing out that the market was pretty horrible around this time, a month or two ago, but the portfolio was doing really well in Viper. So here's the portfolio updated again. So this is more like the one I just showed you, I guess, but 110% on CTLT, so that came up a little bit recently, so that's good. So that's the more recent portfolio. So yeah, so that's basically the Viper report by Matt Carr. It certainly isn't a scam from what I can see. It's conventional fundamental research. I think even the most skeptical of the people that watch this channel would have a hard time suggesting that this is some sort of scam. The Oxford Club has an amazing reputation. It's been around for a long, long time. And honestly, their services are some of the best I've come across. So if you can stretch for that $4,000 a year, and it might be that you can call their VIP line and negotiate that down. Sometimes they'll give you a bit of a discount. Then it is definitely worth checking it out. So I hope that's helpful, and let me know in the comments below if you've tried the Viper Alert. And if you are not already subscribed, make sure you smash that subscribe button so that you can get updated every time I publish a new stock alert service review. All right, guys, until next time, cheers.